Secretary John Healey, who joins us now on Sky News. Good to have you with us. This is a very poignant moment and a very poignant day.
It's a very special day, isn't it? It's the day that we mark the courage and the sacrifice of what was undoubtedly Britain's greatest generation, and we can never repay the debt that we owe them, but we can honour their memory by remembering what they went through and the important lessons that we can learn from today. And I've got Westminster Abbey behind me. There'll be a Thanksgiving service led by the King and the Prime Minister, a minute's silence, a big concert just round the corner on Horse Guards Parade tonight for 15,000 people. Extraordinary events for an extraordinary generation, and a huge thank you to everybody that's made the street parties, the national parades, as well as the special services possible for us all to participate in during the course of today.
And you've been writing in the papers today about the contrast of the situation we're in now and the peace that was announced 80 years ago, that there is still full-scale war on the European continent in 2025. How confident are you that peace can be brought back to Ukraine, but also Europe as a whole? And what efforts are being brought about to achieve that at the moment?
Well, you're right. This day, 80 years on from the end of the war in Europe, it's a moment to remember, but it's also a call to action to look to restore that peace that they gave so much to secure 80 years ago. Britain's stepping up in this moment. We're increasing defence spending alongside European allies to strengthen European security. And of course, we're leading support for Ukraine, not just in continuing the fight against Putin's invasion, but also in preparing to secure a long-term peace if we can get a ceasefire with Putin. And the other lesson I think that we can take from that great generation and their sacrifices is that we get our strength through alliances. And of course, Britain founded NATO straight after the Second World War. Our commitment to that is unshakable, and it's 32 nations strong now, and it's part of what will help keep the peace in the future as well.
Just whilst we have you as well, obviously there's a renewed flashpoint with regards to India and Pakistan. The Prime Minister talked about the fact that the UK has a special relationship with both countries, a unique one with both countries. What are you doing personally to try and ensure that there is de-escalation along the line of control and in Kashmir? Have you spoken to your counterparts in both nations? And what is the UK doing to try and bring down those tensions?
First of all, like many others, we're condemning the terrorist attacks that India suffered, but urging on both sides, and as you say, Britain has a especially close relationship both with Pakistan and with India, military, diplomatic and political, and we're using all those channels to say to both sides, look, further escalation's in no one's interest. We've got to bring back a degree of regional stability, and we're urging a restraint now in reaction and counter-reaction. And I hope that the recent tit-for-tat strikes will be the last, and that we can get negotiations and talks going so that we can settle the undoubted tensions in that part of the world.
The number 10 spokesman says that the Prime Minister is going to update people later today on discussions with the United States, a reported trade agreement, Donald Trump touting a big announcement in all caps on Truth Social. Have we achieved a trade deal with the United States?
Well, I'm not going to preempt. I think you wouldn't expect me to preempt what the Prime Minister or the President may say. But what this reminds us about is just how indispensable the US is as an ally to the UK on economic security and on national security. And we've been conducting hard negotiations with the US ever since Keir Starmer went to the White House in February, trying to secure a good economic deal for Britain. And during that time, I have to say, ministers like me have stepped back and refrained from commenting on those discussions in order to give the negotiators the space to secure the best possible deal for Britain. So any live discussions or timelines really aren't for me this morning.
There will be people, though, people who are concerned about the NHS, people who work in the NHS. There will be farmers who are concerned about food standards. There will be shoppers concerned about food standards and potential slipping of any of those elements in a potential agreement with the US. You say you've stepped back from commentary, but can you assure voters, can you assure the British public that the NHS, as we know and love, has been protected, that the food standards that we can enjoy have been protected? Are you confident that the UK will have got a good deal for the United Kingdom?
I'm confident our negotiators will secure a good deal with the US. They're an indispensable ally for our economic security, but I'm Defence Secretary, and they're also an indispensable defence ally for us. And we do things as two nations together that no other nations do. We stand shoulder to shoulder. We fought in the Second World War together. We celebrated the victory in Europe together 80 years ago today. And just in the last few weeks, we've stood together alongside to maintain freedom of navigation in the Red Sea. And of course, the US and the UK are at the centre of our European security through our commitments to NATO.
So the NHS safe and secure, food standards safe and secure, the special relationship safe and secure. This, you're saying, will be a good day for the United Kingdom?
Space for our negotiators to get the best possible deal for Britain, as they will, not for ministers like me to provide commentary as those discussions go on.
And so you're not going to pass comment then, I assume, on the tariffs potentially for aluminium or steel or cars or the UK film industry, all of those elements that have been crucial in these negotiations. What message do you have for communities in Port Talbot or Scunthorpe or those in the north of London who are producing blockbuster films? Where do they stand in this negotiation process, and will they have a better deal in a few hours' time than they currently do at the moment?
I'm not going to comment on potential content of any economic deal or timelines. What I will say is that for steel workers like those in Scunthorpe, they've seen now a UK government, a Labour government, willing to step in to secure the future of their industry. And as Defence Secretary, I'm going to make sure that the increased defence spending that we will use to secure our defences for the future also brings a premium, a dividend, if you like, and is measured in more British jobs, more British apprentices, more successful British firms right across the country. And you'll hear the Prime Minister also talking about that this morning.
Just finally, the number 10 spokesperson saying the PM will update people later today. Hearing from the White House, they will make an announcement at 3 p.m. UK time. Is that when we should expect something from Downing Street? Look, I don't account for the movements in Downing Street. I'm concerned that this is the 80th anniversary of VE Day. It's the moment with an extraordinary set of events to mark an extraordinary generation when we can celebrate the sacrifices that they made for all our freedoms, but also recognise that we've got war in Europe again on this continent, and we must do more to try and secure the long-term peace in Ukraine and make sure that Putin never again threatens not just Ukraine, but other parts of Europe as well. Sentiments I'm sure many will echo today. John Healey, Defence Secretary, joining us live here on Sky News. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.